lesson 4. We're finishing lesson 4 today, and we explained that a person wants to be able to have da'at, we said awareness, to be able to say on everything that happens to him that it is for the good. How can a person go and say everything that happens to him is for the good? Therefore, he has to have awareness. He has to say the understanding. He has to say, I have the understanding of Olam Haba. In Olam Haba, we will see and realize everything Hashem did is for a good reason. And therefore, how to get to this understanding in this world requires a person to have awareness. How do you get this awareness? He says, you have to return your malchut to Hashem. You have to return your authority, kingship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A lot of times people fall to the trap of giving their malchut, giving their kingship authority to the goyim. They say whatever the goyim believe in, you have to do. There's no way like for example, there's no way you'll make money if you don't go to college. If you're not a doctor or lawyer like the goyim say, then that's the only way to make parnasah. You'll be poor otherwise. Oh, you have to, go and see the doctor every 6 months in order to be healthy, and you have to go and, you have to live in the city. Only if you live in the city, you'll be happy. I don't know. There's a lot of things the goyim say that people buy into and believe and give their authority and give their kingship authority, who they believe in, they give it to the goyim. So therefore, you have to return it back, and you have to take it back and give it to Hashem. How are you going to turn it back and give it to Hashem? That's why you have to go to Talmid Chacham, and you have to do vidu, you have to go and do confession. You have to tell him the sins you did, and he's going to give you musar, he's going to explain to you what you did wrong, and you're going to be able to believe that Hashem, He does everything for the best. A lot of times people, they have questions on Hashem. Rabbi, why does Hashem have against me? Why does He do bad things to me? A person does vidui, confession to the Rabbi, he will realize that you yourself also did bad things. That's why sometimes bad things happen to you. So therefore he's going to start realizing that Hashem knows what He's doing, and the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not wrong, rather I am wrong. And therefore he says that a person who does sins, they become etched in his bones. What do you mean etched in his bones? He says that a person's bones represent the wisdom. The bones are your essence of your body. Without your bones, you would be a sack of jelly. You wouldn't be able to move. So therefore, when a person decides to do something in his life, he uses his wisdom. His wisdom, his mazgi, is what gives him the ability to do anything he does. He says your bones are considered like chukhmah, like wisdom, and therefore you have to know that whenever you do sins, whenever you believe in what the goyim say, that will be etched in your bones. That means that that becomes your wisdom, and then you will act according to what they say. But if a person goes to the rabbi and goes to the vidui, does the confession and speaks to him and speaks his heart to the rabbi and really connects to him deeply, and he has a rabbi he's comfortable with, then he'll remove that impurity from his bones. He'll remove that impure wisdom from his mind, and he'll be able to think how the Torah wants him to think. So therefore, a person has to make sure that he does not fall into that trap of going to believe what the goyim say. Rather, he has to connect to the tzaddik. And he says there's many ways to connect to the tzaddik. He says the very first level is just to see the tzaddik. Person used to say, Rabbi, I listen to your recordings. I listen to the lectures. When I'm driving to work, whatever. But you should know, it's not the same as seeing the rabbi. Seeing the rabbi already affects you, understand? The way, somebody told me one time, I saw the rabbi, the way the rabbi looked at me, it changed me. He looked at me and he said hello to me and I felt connected, and I said, wow, I was in front of a big rabbi, how can I go and do these things? And it started making him do teshuvah just by seeing the rabbi,
That's the example of how he was acting.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he says the next step is that a person has to give tzedakah. When you give tzedakah to the Talmid Chacham, so then you connect to him in another way. You become rooted and connected to him, and therefore, because spiritually you guys are connected, because you invested your money, which is really your time and effort in a physical form. You invested in the rabbi, and now spiritually you guys are connected because of tzedakah. That's another level of connected to tzaddik. And he says the highest level of connected to tzaddik, we said, is where you come and to do confession. You go and do vidui, and you go and you tell him how you feel in your heart, how you feel in your soul, and through this, he's able to give you real advice. Because what's emunah? What does it mean to have emunah? A person says, I have emunah. You just press a button in your body, you just start having emunah. Emunah means getting good advice. Rabbi, I have such and such a situation. I don't know what to do. I'm nervous. So what does the rabbi do? The rabbi tells you, listen, you have to go do this, you have to go do that, you have to stop thinking like this, go stop thinking like that, pray to Hashem, do this mitzvah, whatever, do XYZ, and then you're going to be okay. So now you have guidance, you have clarity, you have advice, and now it's easier to have emunah. So basically having emunah means going to the sages and getting advice. If you don't go to the rabbi in the beginning, you're going to go to the rabbi in the end anyways. So therefore, the advice is going to the rabbi in the beginning, because everybody calls the rabbi when somebody dies. Everybody calls the rabbi when somebody gets sick. Everybody calls the rabbi when there's no parnasah. Don't go and do what you need to do in the end. Don't do it in the end. Do it in the beginning. So therefore, a person has to make sure to work on this, to make sure that he gets his malchut returned back to Hashem, to be able to believe that everything Hashem does is for the best, and to have the mentality of olam haba,